Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Rheaman19. How you doing? Resource management, name of the game. It's a big aspect of what we do here at Marvel Strike Force. And I, going from a mid-level spender, about $100 a month, to a free-to-play player, I'm experiencing this full on in my face, okay? So we have events going on right now, alliance-wide events with the ISO 8 campaign energy that you're supposed to spend. And I like to try and save that energy to save my cores so that when other events, like I believe the Viv campaign event is coming up in a few weeks, and you need lots of cores for that, just like we needed it for Valkyrie, I need to save my cores. So I normally save that ISO 8 campaign energy for things like that, but with the alliance-wide event, Scopely's trying to push us to spend all that stuff. They want us to buy stuff, so they will always put us in a position of compromised choices where you either do this for your alliance or you do this for yourself, or you spend money and get both. I am told by chat that you can actually get by as long as you don't cap out energy. You can complete those events for your alliance without doing any of the core refreshes in the ISO 8 campaign energy. So you got to be thrifty. Personally, I'm not doing any of the regular campaign energy right now, and my alliance is in a position where we don't need that many raid keys to do what we need to do in Doom 3. So paying attention to where you spend your cores is even more important than ever. Scopely is always getting better at putting us in these tough choices between a rock and a hard place, and that's something you need to watch out for. Also, when you're talking about spending your resources and it comes to defense or war defense, you don't want to spend resources at all. Here at Defense Up, I like to teach people how to use the garbage that's left over in the best ways possible to make good, synergized teams and hope that your opponents have to put a little bit more effort into beating your defenses. But don't waste your resources on defense in war. It's just not worth it. It's raids, it's alliance, it's sagas and scourges and things like that that come first. All right. So we are looking at Rheaman's defense. Right now, we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. Team number 1 is the Red Skull Hydra team. You can throw Zemo in on this team, and it makes it probably like 40% harder to beat at any level. I do like Zemo in on this team, but he's also a really good flex pick for offense, so I tend to not do it. I think I get the feeling that Rheaman is pushing a lot of stuff out on defense because he's got a smaller roster and doesn't really care about getting those war attacks in. That's kind of what it feels like. I don't know. I'd have to confer. But for everybody, I think it's always best to go offense over defense. I'd like to see Zemo taken off of this team and go with the regular 5-piece. It's not a big enough team to be wasting a good built character like Zemo on this team. Otherwise, you've got Fortifier pretty much across the board. We've got Striker over here on the Grenadier, which that's for the synergy with Zemo. That's a great choice. If Zemo's not on the team, you can make him a Fortifier so he dies, revives with that barrier. But yeah, the synergy with Zemo is pretty good there. Again, the discrepancy in power is like, do you bother? Who knows? All right, placement's good. You should be taking Sniper off of the corner. Let's just adjust that placement somewhere. Get Sniper off the corner. He goes invisible and causes chains to be broken up. This is a pretty minuscule team. Like I said, let's get Zemo off of here, adjust this placement. Everything else is pretty good. I'm going to give this a B-. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give this a C. I really think Zemo is important for offense. All right, team number 2 is the Symbiotes. It's the Symbiotes. It's a really old team. We don't use them on offense. It's something just kind of left over we throw in on defense. The one thing I will say about this is we need to be swapping Anti-Venom and Venom because you want to keep you want to keep Anti-Venom as far away from Scream as you possibly can. They're the 2 hard targets that people always go after, and right next to each other gives them kind of this is a sweet trio to be attacking into. So don't do that. This is an A-. The ISOs are fine. Other than that one little placement change, it's a decent enough team. Team number 3 is the Web Warriors. This is a pretty good placement. I would probably take Scarlet Spider and put him all the way to the outside. Raider across the board with Miles as a striker. This is great. I can give you an A for this. This isn't too critical as long as Ghost Spider and Scarlet Spider are not near each other. Team number 4 is the Marauders with Madeline Pryor. I am kind of really not liking this team. We screwed around with this on stream Monday and could not make it work, couldn't make it any better. I want Emma for offense. Madeline Pryor is not big enough to do anything with, and she's unfarmable. Strife needs to be bigger to hold for this team. It's kind of just... the team really doesn't come together until you have it at 1 million plus. And it's not worth building to 1 million plus because you can't really use them anywhere. I mean, there's better stuff to be used everywhere. So yeah, my thing is probably take Emma off it for offense, bench the rest of the team or use them on offense someplace. There are some cases where you can use this entire team on offense. It just doesn't work as well as you need it to. Watch your war histories. If you're going in low level wars and people are losing against this team, then keep it. But otherwise, the SA team is just going to walk over this with these smaller numbers in here and without Madeline Pryor being bigger. Healer, striker, skirmisher, healer, and another healer. These are fine ISO choices. Team's not worth changing or building. I'll give you an A for it. Actually, you know what? Let's get a placement swap. Put Emma next to Strife. She can tank some of that splash damage a little bit better. I'm not excited by this team, really, is what it is. So A- for that. Not a lot we can do to improve it other than just taking it off of defense. Team number 5. Now, we talked a lot about this in chat before this because this was a team that I looked at and was a little bit confused with, seeing if it's worth it or not. So if you happen to be in a situation where you have MLF, but you don't have the rest of the Darkhold built or you don't have them unlocked, and we're looking at a 4x4 MLF, so I'm guessing that's the case, this is something you can do with MLF. However, be warned, if people are not using their entire Darkhold team to come and beat this, they are going to be able to beat it with other stuff. Probably we've heard like MLF and Scarlet Witch with a couple of other tunes can come in and pretty much shut it down. You can do some stuff like with Vision where he ability blocks adjacent people. So there's some things that can go into this and still beat it relatively easy. But again, this is a watch your war histories, see where you're at in war. This is a pretty tricky team. You've got synergy going on with Invisible Woman and Doom. She gets sped up when she drops below 50%. I like that she's a fortifier, helping keep her alive so that she can do her barrier, her cleanse, her invisibility maneuvers, stuff like that. You've got Minerva in here to revive anybody that might get clipped off early. However, I think Minerva should be a fortifier, not a healer. Normally, she should be a healer, but like on this build, you need Minerva to be alive, to be a threat that people will go after. Giving them time, giving Doom time to get to his platform, giving MLF time to do MLF things. And then, of course, Black Bolt is in here to burp people off of the screen. I like that he's a striker. I like that Doom is a raider. I like that she's a raider on this team. I like her different ISOs for other things, but on this team, I do like her as a raider. So if you want to keep this team, I think changing her to a fortifier is pretty crucial. Otherwise, I really think this team should be removed. I think we should be using Darkhold as an entire team, and I think we can use Doom in a variety of other places. We'll see some other places where we can put different tunes like this in here. So for me, this is situational. I'm going to give it a solid B. It needs some adjustment to run this variant, and this variant is very specific to the situation that Rheaman is in. All right, moving on to team number 6, we have the SA with Kestrel and Dr. Octavius. Doc Ock giving those blocks and deflects to more of the team so that Maria Hill can do a lot more healing. You're getting rid of Fury because Fury is a liability on war defense. I like what you're doing here. I'd like to see these ISOs brought up. Again, resource management, you may not be in a position where you can spend the blue ions. Spenders probably can start building tunes up to 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 without too much fear of getting in trouble. Free-to-play players like myself are now going to be having a little bit harder time doing that because we have to be more particular about our farms. But I definitely think that the SA team is worth it. This team, replacing Doc Ock with Shang-Chi, is absolutely clutch for the skill lane in Doom 3. You're going to be building them. The SA team isn't going to be replaced anytime soon. We don't have a skill team for raids on the horizon. We're probably going to get a 4th and 5th member for the team. Patches down the road, I don't know. That's speculation, but I think it's a safe bet to invest in these tunes. Take some of them to gear tier 16 with the ions that you need. So that's what I'd like to see done with this team. I think it's a great defense. Probably better on offense, but again, I feel like you're trying to push more for defense. So if that's what you want to do, it's a great defensive team. Just let's build them a little bit more. So I'm going to go A- on that. Team number 7. Here is what we figured out was a total waste of Thor. Thor has some synergy with Silver Surfer, but any cosmic character is going to have some synergy with Silver Surfer. So let's take Thor off of this team and go with somebody like Tony Stark for the negative effect prolongation, and he's a character that you have to be building. Scarlet Witch for the same reasons, and she's a character that you're going to have to be building. And we have some other choices, which I can't remember right now because I got too much stuff going through my brain. But those are some other choices that you could. Oh, you could put in a pre-taunt tank in here, which would make it a little bit more tricky for these people to get going and stuff like that. So I definitely think that is a huge waste of Thor. I don't think he does much for this team. He doesn't get the speed benefits or any of the other stuff. Throw him on the Hero Asgardian team. You got to be building that. That's another layer of content that we have to be building if you want to get certain things unlocked. May not be a priority, but it's going to have to happen eventually. I mean, if you want to skip some of these teams, you're going to be skipping entire tiers of metas that you want. So you really just can't skip these teams anymore. Scopely's making it impossible for us to do that. So I do like the placement, other than, if you need to be swapping out somebody. So maybe go either Cloak or Deathpool in this position when you swap Thor out for somebody else. Let's see, anything else I can think of? Oh, I do not like Cloak as a healer. I think that's an absolute waste. I know he's pretty fast, and you're thinking, okay, more turns, more healing, but that's not how it works on War Defense. You're not going to get any sustainability with any of these teams. There's 1 or 2 teams that actually have a sustain feature, a timeout feature where the heals work, and this isn't one of them. This is a blow them up fast kind of team. Change him to a skirmisher, so you get the skirmisher combo off of these 2. You could change him to a raider for more damage up front. I don't really like that. I think skirmisher's the way to go to make sure he's landing those blinds on his big ult. So those are my recommendations there. For me, this is a C. I think it's a huge waste of this guy, and you could be making this team much tougher with some of those other choices. All right, moving on to team number 8. This is the Chavez Eternal team. You could swap out Thanos for MLF if you don't have that Darkhold team, and I think this would be a more powerful team. You might draw in even bigger teams. This one I like. I kind of like it this way, though. For me personally, at the war level that you're at, I think this is putting this team right on the cusp. So some people might want to bring in something huge like an Infinity Watch or a Darkhold to try and beat this. Other people might understand that, hey, I could bring in Eternals and Doom, and they'll knock Doom into that sweet spot, taking Icarus for a ride on the time platform, and you can come back and one-shot this team. It's tricky. You can pull it off, and it's something you can do to try and save some resources. If you think that Doom and Eternals is saving resources, that's debatable. But I like this team. It's tough. It's built well. You've got all the right ISOs on the right people. They're in the right places. I don't know if Thanos is worth building up a little bit more. I mean, he's kind of old news, right? And then, of course, Loki. We're basically just building Loki for the time management. It makes Cersei go first. 80% turn meter with Chavez, making these guys go super fast. There are some things that get in front of it. You can use a super speedy hybrid with Zemo and come in and ability block Cersei and make some things happen. But again, you're using a lot of resources that you might be spreading out for other offensive compositions. It's a great team. I like it. I think you're doing a good job. I'm going to give you an A for this one. All right, moving on to team number 9, Heroes for Hire. You've got Luke Cage out of the corner. You've got Shang-Chi built up more than everybody else. We went Skirmisher, Raider, Striker, Fortifier, Skirmisher. I like the ISOs, like the team placement. It's really good. Giving you an A for that one. And team number 10, we threw in Yo-Yo to replace America Chavez on this, and I think this is killer. A lot of people think that Miss Marvel is a tank, is a protector because she taunts, but she's not. She's a brawler. There's no protectors on this team. So you can throw Yo-Yo in here and she'll still do her little offense down maneuver. That makes this team so tough to get through because it's a race to kill Squirrel Girl before Squirrel Girl pops off with a cleanse, right? And Yo-Yo makes that much harder. So she's also got some Inhuman synergy with Miss Marvel. So I think this is a great build. You went Strikers and Skirmishers, which is the way to go on this team. It's just fantastic. So good job on this one. I'm going to give you an A for that. I'd like to see some more stars stars on some of these characters when you get the opportunity to do so, because the Young Avengers are a very valuable team that can be used on offense and defense in both War and Crucible, in Tower, in all over the place. Not a necessary team. Yeah, they're kind of necessary because they're for that Scourge also, that Pestilence Scourge thing too. So I guess they are necessary also. Great team to be building. It's a good place to invest in. Maybe not a priority at this point in time, but a great team. So A for that. All right, if you like what you saw, hit that like button, hit subscribe for more of these videos. I'm trying to get out, 3,000-6,000 videos a week, as much as I can do. So, hit those buttons. And remember, guys, don't just have a good game, be good to yourself and others too. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.